Have you ever wondered if the answers to life's biggest questions have already been whispered by the voices of your ancestors? Could your spiritual awakening be hidden in the rich tapestry of your cultural heritage, waiting for you to uncover it? What if the key to unlocking your highest potential lies in understanding the wisdom encoded in the traditions, rituals, and stories of your lineage? Let's embark on a transformative journey to explore these truths together. What if the journey to your spiritual awakening isn't about learning something new, but about remembering something ancient? Ancestral wisdom is like a buried treasure. It's always been there, but it takes curiosity and courage to dig deep enough to find it. Spiritual awakening often begins with an internal nudge, a subtle yet profound question. Who am I beyond my current reality? Think about this. The lessons your ancestors lived by were forged in survival, resilience, and connection. These lessons, passed down through generations, are more than just traditions. They're keys to unlocking your own spiritual growth. Reflection. Have you ever felt a deep yearning for something more, a connection to something greater than yourself? Perhaps that yearning is an echo of your ancestors, calling you to awaken to the wisdom they left behind. Your culture is more than a set of customs. It's a roadmap to understanding who you are and where you're going. Every tradition, symbol, and ritual is a piece of the puzzle that forms your identity. To forget one's ancestors is to be a brook without a source, a tree without roots, says a Chinese proverb. Isn't it fascinating that your cultural heritage could hold the secrets to a balanced and harmonious life? Example. Consider the rituals surrounding food in your culture. Perhaps it's a weekly family dinner, a holiday feast, or a specific way of preparing meals. These practices are more than just habits. They're expressions of gratitude, connection, and love. By understanding their deeper meaning, you can uncover a sense of belonging and spiritual nourishment. Action. Take a moment to research a cultural tradition you've practiced but never fully understood. Ask family members or elders about its origins and meaning. What new insights does this bring to your spiritual journey? Imagine blending ancient wisdom with modern science, like mixing herbal remedies with meditation apps. This is the age of spiritual innovation, where the old and new come together to create something powerful and transformative. Example. Practices like yoga and meditation have deep spiritual roots, yet modern science now validates their benefits, from reducing stress to improving cognitive function. Think about mindfulness, a practice rooted in Buddhist traditions, now embraced worldwide as a scientifically backed tool for well-being. Question. What ancient practices from your own culture could have scientific value today? Could rituals like chanting, fasting, or herbal medicine hold unexplored potential in the modern world? Reflection. By honoring these practices and adapting them to today's context, you're not just preserving your heritage, you're contributing to its evolution. What if you could talk to your ancestors? No, not through spooky seances, but through their stories, their values, and their lessons. Ancestral communication is about listening to the silent whispers of history and learning from those who came before you. Activity. Find an heirloom, a family recipe, or an old photograph. Hold it and ask yourself, what does this say about the life my ancestors lived? What values, struggles, or dreams does it reflect? We are the dreams of our ancestors, a reminder that their legacy lives on in your actions and choices. Practice. Begin journaling about your family history. Write down the names, places, and stories you've heard growing up. As you piece these fragments together, you may find unexpected wisdom and guidance for your own life. Ever played RuneScape 3 and noticed how it encourages you to take your time, crafting, gathering, building? It's almost like the game mirrors the principles of slow living. Slow living isn't about doing less. It's about doing things with intention. Our ancestors were masters of this. They planted, harvested, and celebrated with purpose. Could adopting a slower pace be the secret to spiritual clarity? Reflection. What if you lived every day like your RuneScape character, savoring each task and relishing each achievement? How would this shift your perspective on productivity and success? Action. Try incorporating a slow living ritual into your day. It could be cooking a meal from scratch, tending to a garden, or simply spending time in nature. Notice how it feels to be fully present in the moment. Storytelling is one of the most ancient and sacred ways to pass down wisdom. Your grandparents' bedtime stories may have had more spiritual depth than you realized. Example. In many cultures, myths and legends were created to explain life's mysteries. These stories often contained lessons about morality, resilience, and the nature of the universe. Could revisiting those stories give you insights into your own spiritual journey? Quote, "The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller," said Steve Jobs. What story are you telling about your spiritual awakening? Action. Share a meaningful story from your culture with a friend or family member. Reflect on the themes and lessons it conveys. How does it resonate with your own life? Embracing ancestral wisdom doesn't mean losing yourself. Instead, it's about finding balance, honoring tradition while forging your own path. Reflection. Which traditions resonate with you and which feel outdated? By asking these questions, you're not rejecting your culture, you're personalizing it. Tradition is not the worship of ashes, but the preservation of fire. Let that fire guide your spiritual growth. Practice. Create a ritual that blends your cultural traditions with your personal beliefs. For example, you could combine a traditional prayer with a modern mindfulness practice. Your ancestors lived through hardships you may never experience. Their strength paved the way for your life. Have you thanked them? Practice. Start a gratitude journal, but make it ancestral focused. Write down one thing daily that you're grateful for in your cultural heritage. Question. How does practicing gratitude for your ancestors change your perspective on your own struggles? Activity. Consider visiting a place significant to your family history, such as a hometown or ancestral landmark. Use this experience to reflect on the sacrifices and triumphs of those who came before you. Your ancestors lived in harmony with nature, finding spiritual truths in the cycles of the moon, the changing seasons, and the behavior of animals. Activity. Spend a day outdoors, unplugged. What lessons does the wind, the trees, or even the silence teach you? Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Albert Einstein. Reflection. How can you incorporate the wisdom of nature into your daily life? Perhaps it's as simple as observing the sunrise or planting a tree. Awakening isn't a destination. It's a journey. It's about opening your eyes to the lessons your ancestors have left you and to the possibilities of the future. Question. Are you ready to awaken to the wisdom that's already within you? Final thought. The spiritual journey is the unlearning of fear and the acceptance of love, says Marianne Williamson. By embracing your cultural heritage and ancestral wisdom, you're taking one of the most courageous steps toward love. If this resonated with you, take the first step today. Explore your roots, embrace slow living, and awaken to the power of your heritage. And don't forget to share your journey in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to rediscover the wisdom that connects us all. End with a quote. In every step with your ancestors, you become the bridge between the past and the future.